The Deliverance is out on Netflix, new horror film from the Oscar-nominated director Lee Daniels, starring Andra Day and Glenn Close. It's inspired by a true story, although I'm putting the true in quotes here because how true can a ghost story be, really? The movie takes place in 2011. Poor black family has recently moved into an old house in a sort of sketchy neighborhood. The father is absent, not in the picture. The mother has a history of alcoholism, struggles to make ends meet, and is verbally and physically abusive towards her 3 children. And then there's also her white mother living together with them, who also adds another kind of element to the family tension. And as this tension rises, turns out there's something sinister going on within the house. So this is a really strange film because I think it's pretty awful, but again, in a strange, atypical way. See, it starts off like a fairly grounded family drama about the plight of the struggling working class in America, the cycle of domestic violence, the abuse of parent figures, and how the children view them and struggle to deal with that, and even how they internalize what is going on around them. And then after a full hour of that, it suddenly pivots into a supernatural demonic possession horror, and when it does, it just falls off a cliff in terms of credibility, quality, in terms of having anything interesting to say, and even tonally speaking. I mean, all the supernatural scenes, without exception, made me laugh out loud with how goofy they were, and I am convinced this was not the intended effect. Even worse, I think in the final act, the movie becomes its own antithesis, where it initially paints the mother as unequivocally the villain, a villain protagonist, someone who is awful towards the people around her, including her own children, and cannot control her own behavior. And then she magically morphs into someone who just suddenly finds the strength to call out to God, face the demon, and save the day. I mean, I thought it was unearned, it came out of left field, and it ruins what the movie was trying to set up earlier. I only have one other point beside that, and it's something that I've repeated about 17 different times now, but I'm gonna keep droning on about this. It's a Netflix movie, and it looks like a Netflix movie, which means it's bland, flat, and dull. And if you don't know, Netflix apparently mandates the types of equipment, the cameras and lenses, and then things like color palettes that the filmmakers have to use in their films to optimize the viewing experience for mobile phones and tablets. They have to look clear there, not too much contrast or too little contrast, not too grainy, so on. The result is these productions all look the same. They look like boring garbage on a 4K TV, and this one is no exception. And there it is, that's all I had to say. It's a weak movie that seems like it's going in an interesting direction for a time, and then throws it all away to become a goofy, ridiculous, nonsensical horror. Avoid.